Alright.
Stream will be starting soon.
Well, what's funny is we're already streaming, so
Okay.
maybe I need to refresh.
Freaky, 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 fresh.
Don't know. Says we're streaming. So maybe I need to go back in. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. If you can see us or hear us, could you let us know, please? Please. One thing I could have to do is turn the volume back up, and I didn't turn it up. Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume.
Did you turn the volume now? Yeah. Live now.
Live now. That's us. I wouldn't go to that one. Nope. There
Why
we go.
not? There we are.
What's up, everybody?
There's Sherry.
Live now. That's us. I hate the delay.
I always forget to turn that off.
Turn that off. I do not need to hear my own silliness.
Alright, guys. Oh, you see that, Sherry?
You like the new shirts, huh?
We got them done, finally. We're working on some more, too, so.
They're on the website for sale.
We're going to make a couple of different types, so.
Yep. This one says, Big Bear Homestead. Happy animal is a tasty animal. And it's got pictures of our pig with a big, I just ate the chicken's cheese on his face. Yes.
Yep.
So, what?
You got really mad at me about my gremlin joke yesterday, and apparently that has caught on.
Everybody's got the gremlin. Seriously, who's talking about it now?
Well, Sherry just said she's still laughing about the wet camera statement. Oh, well. Anyway, so we got a couple of new people here I don't recognize. We're going to have to say hi to some new people here.
Hi to new people.
We gained a lot of subscribers this week from our collaboration, so that was really cool.
People? Who are the new people?
I see a William McFadden.
Hi, William McFadden.
A Rosie Dodd.
Hi, Miss Rosie.
And, of course, we know Southwind, so hi.
Sup, Southwind.
Susan Carmichael from Maine.
I want to trade houses with you.
And then Minuteman Homestead, I saw him making a couple comments on stuff. Yes, Rosie, we know you're new. We're really glad you're here to join us. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the show.
As long as she behaves.
Yankee 4, we've seen before. Connorland, that's a new one.
Hey, Connor.
And then, of course, one of our favorites, USA Kiwis here. Hey, Karen. Connorland is in Wyoming. Awesome.
Wyoming.
So we're catching on with the hashtag 50. We're working on it. We're trying to get there.
Wow, you just started a whole bunch of stuff this week.
I did. I'm on fire this week.
Can y'all see us okay, or am I still getting cut off?
No, you're good. I can see you. You just moved it now, so we look good. Orphan Lady. I like this name. It says, "Here, Chicky Chicky." I like that name. That's kind of cool.
Hey, that's what the pig is saying on my shirt right now.
Yeah, if any of y'all caught our story about Heartbreak on the homestead, these are the pigs that actually ate those white chickens that ran off. So
I feel like Vanna White.
Maria's on. Hi, Maria. Let's see. So we're almost halfway there. Yes, Karen, chicken nuggets. That's exactly what I said they were. Yes, we chicken. Yeah. See, I'm awesome like that.
Okay. What time? We're gonna give everybody. We're gonna start into the meat of it instead of us just sitting around here playing around. About 8:05. 8:05-ish.
I can give people another 2 or 3 minutes.
More minutes to come in. How's everybody's week going?
Ugh.
Did anybody get any rain? And if so, how come you haven't sent it this way?
I know we got like one little bit, and it's threatened. Like we've had thunder and lightning and wind and no rain. Like right now, outside. You look outside, it looks like it could open up at any moment, and it's just doesn't want to do anything. What caught your eye, baby?
I'm just trying to figure out what you're looking at.
Oh, right up there. Anyway.
That's just dirt on the window. It ain't gonna rain.
Wow. USA Kiwis got rain down there now with thunder and lightning.
Go outside and this way. For real.
Minuteman Homestead said you can have ours. I wish.
No.
Up. Hi, Brad. He likes our shirts.
And you can get some too, Brad, just for going to our website, clicking on the shop button, click on the shirt, click on the cart. We're going to try to put a new t-shirt out every week, and every week a new one will be on the website for sale, as long as our t-shirt lady works with us.
Yes.
She's got about 5 or 6 designs that
we
sitting in the dugout waiting to.
No, not $49.95. We're not asking a whole lot for these shirts. They're like $10. So yeah. Sherry says she gets a free shirt because she feeds our pigs.
Don't feed them that much.
Yes, she does.
She don't feed them that much.
Yes, she does. Go for Green's here. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Krista.
Awesome.
Krista had a birthday this week.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
I was thinking of the wee one.
No.
That one's next week.
No, yeah.
Or 2 weeks.
No, wait. What's
2
today?
weeks. Today's the 14th.
Yeah, so
15th.
next.
Something, anyway.
Like at the beginning of.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's 8:06.
Okay.
So, let's get rolling on today's subject matter.
Your best Brad impression. Oh no, not the paper.
Today's subject matter: how to choose your homestead. And this is not a cut and dry topic as one may think. One may think, well, I want chickens, so we go out and get chickens. No, it doesn't. No.
Yes, pensively, Brad. You have to pensively stroke your beard. There you go.
You just don't go out and just pick a bunch of chickens.
Yes.
I mean, you can.
You can.
But if you've got certain expectations, you've got to do a little research.
Right.
Let's just stay on chickens for a second.
Okay.
Like if you're looking for chickens and you want to get eggs out of your chickens and eventually you want to eat your chickens, you can't go buy a bunch of white leghorns.
Right, but at the same time, if you're one of those people that just wants them for eggs because you can't stand the thought of eating the chickens that were your pets that provided your eggs, then you might not want to worry about a dual purpose breed. Some people are like that.
Yeah, but we weren't talking about that.
Well, you know.
Did somebody pour water on you?
No.
Bright light.
Bright light.
But, I mean, it all depends on your expectations. And then when you go, okay, I want eggs and meat out of my chickens, so then you have to go and then take it another step and go, well, how soon do I want them to be ready to go in the Barbie?
Right.
And then how many eggs am I realistically looking to harvest? You know, I don't ever go with by day because it's all chickens just lay 1 egg a day.
Right.
So how many am I looking to get in a week or a month? Or even you can even bust it out and go for a season because some breeds lay more eggs in a season than others.
Right. And some will lay into
the winter.
Right.
Like a Buff Orpington.
Right.
I can never say that name. I hope I got
Orpington.
it. Orpington. They are a good dual purpose breed.
Right.
And they will lay, at least down here in good old Georgia, they will lay all the way into the winter. Now they cut back as they're going, but they will lay all the way into the winter. The bad thing about them is the roos.
Yes.
The roos are they're just violent.
Yes, they're
That's just
very
the best
mean.
way. There is a picture. Is it on our website or on the Facebook?
I don't know. What picture are you talking about?
With Carol Ann.
Oh, I don't know that I have that on there.
I think it's on the Facebook where Carol.
Oh.
This rooster kept jumping her. and we blasted him. And then I got a picture of her holding. She had the leg and the thigh. She was like.
Of course, so that was when we learned, because that was one of the very first ones we butchered, like that we really had butchered and done wasn't really the right way. We had not learned about letting the meat rest and bleeding out and all of that stuff. That consequently was also the same bird that I took the cleaver to chop his head off, and I couldn't. That's back before we knew like how Joel Salatin does everything, and we just thought like everybody else, just chop the head off and let it run around and then it'll fall over. And
you stopped moving before the chicken did. But
well, I tried to take off his head and thought he was dead, and he wasn't. He was walking around, and I felt so bad. I remember I was screaming. You were up at the top of the hill. I was like, Jason, come down here and do this. I was so upset that I couldn't do it. But anyway.
So you take those into considerations. Now, when you're talking about pigs, it's a whole bunch of, it's totally different set. Well, let me back up the chickens for a second. Then with chickens, you also have to go, well, which ones are good foragers? Or are you just going to leave them in a pen with a yard? Or are you going to have them out free ranging? And then if you're going to have, I know you're going to go with this, and that's why I didn't want to do this, cutting you off. And if you're going to let them free range, then you don't want a white bird running around out there. If you've got, like us, the state of, I think it's the whole state of Georgia, we are overpopulated with red-tailed hawks, and you can't touch them. If certain game wardens, if they see you saying boo to them, they'll give you a ticket.
Right.
But so you want kind of more of a buff or a Rhode Island red. A lot of people don't like Rhode Island reds.
Right.
I don't mind them. That will help. That will kind of blend in if you're going to let them free range.
Right.
So you got a lot of questions that you have to ask yourself.
Right.
And then you also want to, if you're just going to order from a hatchery, you're okay then. Then you order your chicks and you get them. But if you're going to go to a farmer's market like that one in Augusta, what was it called? The Red Barn or the Red...
Whatever it was.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That dude was always selling some type of fowl.
Hey, Jeremy.
And was that Stevenson?
Yeah, that's why I had to say hi.
What's up, Jeremy? Dude, I miss you, man. Anyway, what was it? Oh, you have to know what to look for with a healthy bird versus a non-healthy bird and stuff like that. If you're going to buy some, if you're going to go out and buy it.
Even if you're going to pick them from somebody like on Craigslist or on through Facebook or stuff like that, you definitely have to know what you're looking for. And one thing we've done in the past is whenever we bring birds from one place to another, we definitely quarantine.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely have an area that we quarantine. Any animal.
Let me go ahead and cut you right there. That's any new livestock we bring. We quarantine them for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Just to be on the safe side. Because there was... Not that long ago, fowl pox was running around down in this area, rampant, and everybody was swapping birds back and forth, and that just made it worse.
Oh, yeah.
But...
There's fowl pox everywhere. Like, every bird down there had fowl pox for the longest time. And so, now let's move over. Is there... Anybody got any questions about chickens before I... No, they're going back and forth. We have a tractor widow. Her husband just got a brand new tractor, so she's watching the show by herself. and
what kind of tractor?
And stop. And so focus. We're rifling. We're not shotgunning right now. Okay, so Amanda's Garden. There's been a conversation between Minutemen and Amanda's Garden, and this is something maybe we might have to do a show on. Is about the limitations of where you live.
Yes.
We have some that are renting and some that even though they own their house, the zoning
yep, I
can
totally
be a problem. Zoning codes.
And we had that issue.
We did.
Down there in Augusta. We could have as many chickens as we wanted. We just weren't allowed to have any roosters.
Couldn't have a rooster. Yeah.
And so then when we moved out to Grovetown, we were able to keep roosters. But not only your county, there are, if you live in a neighborhood, what are those Nazi groups called? The
Homeowners Association?
Homeowners Associations. Yeah, you got those that may tell you, no, you can't have anything like that. And see, you can skirt around some of the counties and stuff if you give it a name. Because if you give it a name, then it becomes a pet.
Exactly.
And then you're allowed to have it.
Right.
So I always wanted to be a fly on the wall with one of those situations when somebody comes up and says, you got chickens. I got pet chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are their names? That's Leroy. That's Curtis. That's Cletus. That's Fifi.
Brad is saying look into land patents. We'll have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
then when you move on, and if you're out in the country and you don't have to worry about codes and stuff like that a little bit, then you start talking about getting pigs. You want to get pigs.
Well, let's talk about in the progression of how we were going. We went from chickens because everybody knows chickens are the gateway animal.
Oh, really? It was quail.
It was quail for us. And so we went with quail, then we had the chickens. Now quail, talk about quail real quick because that's kind of a small one.
Well, we prefer, there's lots of breeds out there, and there's lots of things that you can do with quail versus just raising them to eat.
Right.
I don't know, I can't speak for anywhere else in the nation, but here in Georgia, because our coyote population is just
absolutely
out of control,
mm-hmm.
People don't have that much of an opportunity to hunt quail anymore.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a quail in the wild since I was 12, 13.
The only time I see them is the ones that get out of the
That's
pen.
not wild.
And they fly around in the wild until they get back in the cage.
You're not helping.
I'm sorry.
So, when we started with quail, everybody knows the story. We got a tremendous amount of quail real
quick.
quick.
200 quail really quickly.
Almost went to jail because we didn't know about the resale license.
About resale license, yeah.
But if your state, and it's probably the same in Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, maybe in North Carolina, Tennessee. Just trying to think of
Kentucky, maybe.
No, I'm just trying to think about the coyote stuff.
I don't know.
Because being a trapper, and I had a friend who was involved in that big study where they were catching them and tagging them. It was all over those states.
Right.
You might have a very good source of income with quail if you build what is called a flight pen.
Flight pen, yeah.
It's a long pen, but it's very tall. And that way they can see the quail fly.
Right.
And these hunting clubs will come up, and around here they're paying $9, $10 a bird.
Right.
And they're not just buying 2 or 3 birds. They're coming in buying, most of the time they buy you out, 50 to 100 birds.
Right.
Then they put them in their boxes and they take them out and they turn them loose, and then the guys go out 30 minutes later and they go out and start hunting them.
Right.
But those are only certain breeds that you can do with that. You can't do the Coturnix quails, which we raised the Coturnix quail. And the reason why we chose the Coturnix quail was, one, the eggs were free.
Well, yeah,
our very
that
first
was
set.
the reason. Yeah, that was a big reason.
But then from egg to plate,
like 8 weeks.
Was
6 or 8 weeks.
6 or 8
it
weeks.
does not take long. Just to sexual maturity, I think, is like 6 or 8 weeks.
Right.
So really, that's about all you need them really to do. But
and they require just a very small space. Very
because they're
low,
small to begin with.
Very low maintenance. And they are a very good income.
Right.
You can sell the eggs.
Right.
You can pickle the eggs.
Yes.
I have a recipe.
That is amazing.
Mwah. The guys love it. Wives, not so much.
Not so much.
Then you can hatch out the birds. Sell hatchlings. You can sell full adult quail. You can go ahead and process them and clean them and sell them. And here in
Georgia,
at least in Georgia,
where we are.
I haven't really tried it up here at the new homestead, but down at the old one, I was getting for a freshly processed quail, I was getting $8 a bird.
Right.
So we started with quail, and then we went to chickens, then to rabbits.
Right. Now with rabbits.
Rabbits are very frustrating. Is the best way for us.
Yes.
Because we tried the help me out.
Okay, wait. I gotta stop you for a second. There's a lot going on here. Okay. We have got a lot of people that are Rosie Dodd, one of our new members, was saying that she had never thought about white chickens being a problem with free ranging. I will tell you right now, white chickens, light chickens, we always have a problem keeping them on our homestead because of the color. They're much more of an eyesore and an attractant to any kind of predator.
We've had buffs and we've had Delawares running at the same time. Started with roughly the same number. Pretty much had all of the buffs, and we're down to like 2 Delaware.
Yeah. And now the other thing is we got a lot of people, and this is where your trapping stuff comes in. Minks killing chickens.
Yep.
We have to lock them up like Fort Knox. You got people saying foxes.
Yes.
Stealing chickens. We've even seen
possums,
skunks.
Coons, skunks.
Yes. Yes.
In our area, we don't really have that much of any type of a weasel problem, so we don't really. Minks are few and far between. I wish there were more here because my trapping season would be so much nicer.
Yes.
Foxes, believe it or not, because of how much our coyote population has exploded, grays and reds are very few and far between. And then we have our coyotes, and then we have coons, possums, and then we have our raptors, owls, hawks, couple of eagles here and there. But the problem with the raptors is they're all protected in our state. So you have to practice the 3 S's, or you just have to be very clever on how you deter them.
Right. Okay, so Rosie was saying that she's getting ready to butcher a chicken real quick. She wants to know, how do you deworm without buying crap, or do we not deworm? Brad's already answered it. Oh. We do a lot of DE.
DE, squash,
zucchini,
pumpkin, seeds. Give it to them, and it'll take care of it for you.
And another thing, I'm sorry, but we also use essential oils, and you can also use just a little bit of oregano in the water.
Yes.
Or their feed, whatever.
We're working on having, because we're with doTERRA, so we're working on having the lady from our upline come in. They have started a group on Facebook. It's called Essential Oils for Livestock. I know she's going to try and talk about it a little bit, and I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag, but since this has come up, I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're a part of that group. We're an admin in that group.
Right.
You guys, if you're on Facebook land, search for it, find it. I'll let y'all in. But they are constantly experimenting with different essential oils, and they're keeping records.
I was going to say, they're literally taking fecal samples and all kinds of stuff to monitor all of this too. Oregano, yes, it is a great natural antibiotic.
I hate that oil.
You're a little sensitive about oregano.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Okay, James is brown nosing a little bit, but I got to give you a shout out. He says, "I can't wait to start trapping again or being taught how by the best guy ever."
That's this guy. James is one of my little apprentices.
Yes. Yeah. So oregano, yes, is a good. And oregano oil is not very expensive considering how much you get of it.
You get a full bottle. Now this is a lemon bottle, and we'll talk about this real quick, and then we got to get back on track.
Right, but, food grade, Brad. That's right. You want food grade.
And it comes in a bottle like this, and the oregano's like.
It's probably around $30.
I don't know. Shoot us a message.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to
hook you up.
Help anybody out that would like it. But anyway, so
now,
back to.
Well, I was going.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to keep going with that. Now that worming with the DE,
Seeds,
apple cider vinegar. I think Doug uses apple cider vinegar in the water. And then the essential oils. You can use that on all your livestock.
Right.
All of it. Anywhere from horses to quail.
Right.
So, where were we at before you? What were we talking about?
We're rabbits.
Rabbits.
Rabbits were frustrating
Rabbits
to us.
were frustrating to us because we had the, not the Californians, but the New Zealand whites. And because we get so hot, in the summertime down here, starting in about June to all the way September, sometimes into October, you're fighting to keep them alive. And that's one of the things that we should have probably researched better, that they don't really handle the heat all that well. And that's one of the things that you have to take into consideration with even with chickens, that your geographic location needs to tie in to what type of animal, what type of breed which breed you're getting. Brad, for example, Brad's up there in Ohio. He needs more of a bird that's a little bit more tolerant.
A bird?
A chicken.
A
chicken.
Oh, you're back to a chicken.
Well, I'm just using them as an example.
Okay.
The breeds that he's picked with his livestock, they need to be a lot more cold tolerant than ours do. Ours, on the other hand, need to be a lot more heat tolerant than his.
Right.
And that's one of the things that's great about this homesteading network. Excuse me. We can do a video on hand milking a cow, and Brad can put out a video on hand milking a cow.
Right.
And not only are you going to get two different videos, some of the information may be the same, but for the most part, it's going to be different, and a lot of it's going to go on the breed of cows, the size of the cow, and the geographic location.
Yes.
And so that you need to keep those kind of things in mind when you're picking your livestock also.
Yes, you want to decide, and this is no different to me than when you're picking your stuff for your garden. A lot of people, when you're picking a certain variety of something, we tend to look for stuff that's drought tolerant or heat resistant and things like that, because we get really hot here and we go long periods of time without rain.
Yes.
Now we do water, but the thing is that we're not getting the natural rain that
Right, and with your livestock, you can breed just like how you pick your vegetables. when you're in your garden and you're picking the ones that you're trying to save the seeds from, you're going to pick the fruit from the plant that's doing the best that year.
Right.
So do the same thing with your livestock. If you live in an area where you can have male and females and you're able to breed to be sustainable, you start paying attention, you start watching, and you pair up the ones that can, like for us, for example, that can handle the heat, can handle the humidity, can handle all these other different things, tight quarters, wide open spaces, however you're doing it, and you let those breed. So, because it's just like Salatin's son, who finally got the rabbits to just go on nothing but grass.
He had to breed them out, to get that.
To do it, but he got them to do it. And it's the same way with what your homestead or your farm you're trying to incorporate into your farm. If you wanna do more kind of like a Salatin thing, where you want to try to get things on grass, then you have to take that into consideration. If you're not going to supplement with feed from your local feed and seed, then you need to start paying attention. And then the animals that are doing good on your grass, you make sure you breed those.
Right.
A
couple of things have come up. They're talking about everybody with it being hot, keeping animals cool. Of course, we've done the water bottles. Brad had a good point where they used like ceramic tiles or some kind of tiles that they would put in the freezer, and because they hold the cold very well, they could put them out there and then they could lay flat, and I love that idea. And I work in granite, so I have pieces that I can, little remnants that people don't use that we could start using to put in the freezer and see if that works. But our big frustration was, I remember one year it got up to like this summer where it was like 110 without, with the heat index. And you remember we had to bring the rabbits into the house because it was so hot. They were panting no matter what we did.
But what we're in the process of doing, and once we finally get it...
Wait. Jeremy just had to bring up that our pigs would get out and eat the neighbor's garden.
Really? I ain't talked to you in months. I ain't seen you in years. And this is how you're going to be.
So anyway.
But one of the things that we're going to work on up here is we have an area on our homestead that it drops down. Mm-hmm. And we keep our honeybees down there. And it's a very long hill.
Right.
So we got the one section of the hill that's dedicated for the honeybees. So that way nothing can come in front of them and get in their flight pattern.
Right.
Then the second part of this hill is I'm going to dig out and I'm going to build a hobbit house in there for rabbits. And then I'm going to put some wire down on the ground, cover it up and let the grass and everything grow up in there.
Right.
And then build almost like a wire dome or something so they can go outside and run around.
Right.
My only process that I'm having to battle now is I want to still have an access door
to be able to get
through
down.
the top to be able to clean it out in case something happens in there or something.
Yeah.
But that we have that in the works and that's coming, and I think that's going to help us at least here battle this heat, because once it gets so deep, it's 50 degrees.
Right.
You know,
right,
so.
and we use that for a lot of different things, like just to cool our water for the chickens.
Yes.
We know once you get to a certain level, it gets cooler.
Because we took Joe from Homesteadonomics. We took his idea and we changed it up to fit how it fits with us, but we did just like him. We buried it and then let it run across. And so now the water's not scalding hot for the chickens when they get it. They get a coolish, lukewarm water. Depends on how hot it is that day.
Right. Quick question. How much room do you think someone would need for a few breeder rabbits? They don't need a whole lot of space. Just a decent hutch, is good.
Is good. Our rabbit hutches were running 4 foot by 4 foot.
Something like that.
And those were the cages that we were hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, we had this great idea. And it really was just, we just didn't execute it right. The theory was good.
Well, we were poor.
We were not even poor. We had poor.
And so we tried to scrape together. But anyway, basically we had a rabbit hanging here. And then I took junk, trashy lumber and I tried to get...
Didn't we use 10 at one point?
No, I didn't use. I wish I would have been able to use 10.
we were gonna use 10.
But it was the black trash bags.
Oh yeah. We wrapped the
chunk of OSB plywood, whatever we could get our hands on, and we tilted it so it could run to the back. Then we had catchment trays back there to catch all the poo. And then we put another rabbit underneath that, and then he was straight down
onto the poo.
Into the catchment.
His poo would fall through.
Yeah.
Right. And that worked really well.
It would have been better if we would have been able to find some trash linoleum, something that was a little bit more
slick. I think if we'd have had 10, especially like the corrugated tin that has the, I think that might have worked really well. The problem we had is that if you've ever had rabbits, their pee is real thick and sticky a lot of times. It doesn't just roll off surfaces real easily. So what ended up happening with us was that the poo would fall down and then the pee would get on there and it would just stick instead of rolling.
You'd have a wall of poo.
Brian said the poo slider didn't work for them either. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great concept. Just not sure how to execute it. But anyway.
I think linoleum.
Yeah, and the hair too. That's right. Like the hair would stick on it too. Yes, that's absolutely right.
Awful.
We got to the point where we just left a tray up underneath it, and we didn't go too deep on the rabbits. We just one layer, and we let them poop straight onto it, and then we'd rake it out.
And put it right in the garden.
But
so then after rabbits,
pigs.
We went to pigs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was pigs are another one that you really got to do your homework on.
Educate yourself on breeds. Before you go pick a pig, you need to really think about what is the purpose of this pig. What am I going to do with it? And if I love bacon and I love ham, as much as I think the guinea hog is beautiful and it's a great lard pig, it's not really practical for ribs and bacon.
True.
It's not. Your animal, the stomach of it only gets, like maybe that big.
Well, the guinea hog is not even. It's an American heritage breed, and it's on the Ark of Taste, but he's not a baconer. He's a lard pig.
Right.
And so that's when you're looking. When you sit down, you can't just go, I want to get some pigs, and you go out and grab pigs.
That's what we did.
You have to, because that's what we did, and then they went and ate the neighbor's garden. Then,
that was the cow too.
Then, see, I'm gonna get you in trouble, Jeremy. Real close.
Make sure you know your breed.
Make sure, not necessarily make sure you know your breed. Make sure you know exactly what you want.
Right.
If a pig on your property is to just till up your land and give you bacon and sausage and ribs and ham hocks and I'm getting hungry.
I know, right?
and
it's time for dinner.
and stuff like that, then you want a breed that's a good forager, that has a nice long belly, and that's basically a baconer.
Bumblebee, I'm sorry. We still haven't told us if Frog got his car out of Hawk.
Really, Doc? Really?
So anyway, okay. So with the pigs,
you got to know exactly what you want.
Right.
And then you go and pick your breed that way. And then when you pick your breed, then you'll know how much the kids are doing something. I heard it thumping. That's what messed with me.
I don't know. I'm getting distracted because James just asked if you could drink pig's milk, and I would think he would know better than that.
But you can drink chicken's milk, James.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
And so you choose your breed that way. Like we have Yorkshires.
Okay, well, we started out because we didn't know any better. We started out. Yeah, well, you got to go there. You got to get your farm cred, build it up. So, basically, what started is we started out.
Let's just put it out there. We got taken for a ride.
And this is why we tell y'all: pay attention, educate yourself, find out exactly what kind of breed is going to fit your home style. If you're not interested in rendering lard, then a lard pig is kind of a waste of money, in my opinion, because like the American guinea hogs, they're very high in price. Very high in price. The ones I've seen, they go for a couple $100 for a piglet. But around here, I can get a Yorkshire cross for like $35 or $40.
If that.
So you definitely have to make sure,
But anyway, we got taken for a ride.
Right.
This individual, they knew we were greenhorns. They knew that we were at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning.
Right.
And they came up and act like they had this super deal.
Right.
And I think we paid like $90, and we got 2 sows and a boar.
Yes.
But they were wild pigs.
They were.
And they were the Russian boar, the Razorbacks.
Whatever you want to call them.
Those
black ones with the tusks and
the
ones you shoot when you go hunting.
We played the Now they were great at breeding.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we got piglets all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But they were a wild pig, so they tasted different. And they were more experienced at getting out of penned areas.
Because
they wanted to roam.
Right, that's what they were meant to do.
And
hi Danny, hi Wanda.
They wanted to go over and root up
everybody's garden. Right, Jeremy? He said he can vouch for that.
Who?
Jeremy. He said he could vouch for that they got out. Yeah.
So we finally, basically, we just had enough, and we slaughtered them all, and then one guy come and he bought a bunch of them off of us.
And that was a crazy story in itself.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
And then we did a little bit of homework, and then we went straight to the Yorkshires.
Because we started looking around to see what was good in our area and what was... And the thing is that in my mind, if there's an abundance of it in your area, that means they do well. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't see a whole lot of a particular animal, it might be because they don't survive as well.
Now, in Augusta, when we lived in Augusta, Georgia, we caught a lot of flack.
Yes.
Because we were part of a slow food group out of Aiken. And if you were part of this group, they wanted you to raise everything on grass, and you had to do everything the slow way and all of that. And they told us up and down, your pigs cannot be considered that because, one, they're not on the archetype.
Yeah, they were giving us a hard time.
They weren't on the archetypes at that time. They said that Yorkshires were a commercial breed. You'll never get them on grass.
Right. That's what everybody always told us. And our argument, and I don't know, most of you might agree, might not agree, but to me, slow food should not be about your breed.
Okay. Well, we're not.
No, I want to say this for like 2 seconds. It should not be about your breed. It should be about how you raise your animals.
Right.
Now I'm off my soapbox. I'm good.
And 2 generations, not even 2 generations later, our Yorkshires completely on pasture. We only, like you've seen in the video, the only reason why I bring them slop is because I'm lazy by nature.
Right.
I want them to see that bright orange bucket.
Right.
I want them to hear me holler. And I want them to come to me.
Right.
I don't want to chase them over 20-some acres when it's time to round them up to take them
to slaughter, right?
To Luke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna take them to slaughter. I take all my stuff to Luke.
Right.
If I'm not doing it, Luke's doing it. Period. But so we caught a lot of flack about that. That's how we picked our pigs. We knew we liked bacon.
Right. Ribs.
My son was very much into cooking at the time, and so he wanted to experiment with head cheese.
Yeah.
You know what the bad thing was about the head cheese? It tasted phenomenal.
It's the mental thing.
I was dumb enough to watch him prepare it. And
Yeah.
And that it was never mind. Once I ate it, it was good.
Yeah. But anyway.
Watching the process and then that whole process and then smelling some of it the way when it had to. Anyway.
Okay. So
we went from pigs to cows, and here's where we made our number 2
big
huge mistake. We were still more preppers at the time than we were homesteaders.
That's right.
And so I was constantly watching all my different news things, and it was right about the time when milk jumped, when milk was getting ready to jump.
Right.
And I told Robin, I said, that's it. Milk's going to jump.
And you did, and I totally did not believe you. You were saying it was going to go up to $4 a gallon.
I said, milk's going to go higher than gas.
Right.
I said, so we need to go get a dairy cow.
Right.
We knew absolutely
nothing about cows.
Nothing about cows. But we went and bought one. We got the cow, the calf, and a makeshift milking machine.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a machine. He took the motor and everything he had built separate from the machine itself, the vacuum pump. And so anyway.
And so we knew nothing about milking, nothing about caring for the cow. Now, this time we didn't really get taken advantage of. This guy was... He was good to us.
Well, hold on. We did educate ourselves a little bit.
On the ride up there.
No. We educated ourselves enough to know what we were looking for a good milking animal. We did. If you remember correctly, we did all the research about what the udder should look like, what the teeth should look like. We should have him milk her while we're there, watch the temperament, all that stuff. Yeah. So we definitely... Yes, we did have a milking machine, Brad, and we have another one now. And if you can ever afford to have one, it's nice to have just as a backup in case you have to have somebody watch your animals for you that doesn't know a whole lot.
Well, here's one reason why that granted, we're not off-gridders or anything. We're always going to have power. There's no, whether if we go to solar, propane, or whatever, we're going to have some type of power. I got hurt while I was in the Marine Corps.
Right.
I can't stay for a long period of time. Squatted, hunched over to a cow.
Right. And mine is, I have arthritis in my hands. And it's gotten a lot better since I'm not working in the food industry anymore. But over a long period of time, it can be...
Where you can take that 4-prong to the milker. Boop, 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 boop.
And before anybody says anything...
Go watch some Jeremiah Johnson 5-6 minutes later.
Yeah. And before anybody says anything about power, we primarily milk without power. I'll just go ahead and say that now. We normally hand milk. So don't give us any flack for using electricity.
We also have 3 kids still. Right. But once they're gone, I'm not hand milking. Right. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. By the time the youngest one is gone, I'll be in my mid-50s.
Right. And Grandpa's Farm, that is our plan long term because we want to keep a dairy cow even when we get a little bit older. Our plan is to build a ramp.
Yep.
So that the cow goes up into the stanchion so that we can literally stand while we're milking. Like they do in the commercial dairies. That's the other thing is before we bought our cow, we did go visit a commercial dairy.
True,
we found out about all that stuff. What we did not educate ourselves on was how to milk.
Well, that and the temperaments of the different breeds.
Right.
We learned that a Holstein has major attitude completely. And I learned the hard way. Well, the guy that we got her from was always using that cattle stick and he would smack her and hit her and all that kind of stuff. Well, he was about my same build, full beard like I had at the time.
Yep.
And Cheddar come off of that trailer, and all she saw was me.
Yep.
And she didn't like it. And I landed on the other side of the pasture.
And she was a big cow. And Jeremy can attest to this. Yeah. One of our funniest stories that we had was...
when you and his wife were down... Because his wife always used to come over and visit with Robin when she would go down to milk. And they'd be gossiping.
Yeah. That was our time to de-stress from the day. And so we would go down there and we would hook up the machine and we'd sanitize and do all that stuff. Well, we had the cow and the calf. And so while the cow was in the stanchion, we would let the calf run around and get some stretch her legs or whatever. Well, we went to let the cow back out, and we forgot to put the calf in. Out.
Hilarious. Jeremy's on his porch, I'm on mine, and it's already dark outside, and all you see is flashlights doing this.
Flashlight beams going all over the place.
Jeremy could hear them, and they was down there, they was squalling. He called me on the phone, and he said, "Can you hear them?" And I said, "No," and he said, "Well, there's something wrong down there because they squalling."
Yeah, it was...
But we learned, and then we learned, and Brad's having this kind of issue with his. There's not a lot of butter fat.
Right, depending on your breed, and that's another thing you want to look into.
So that's why you have to ask yourself, why do I want this animal on my farm or homestead?
Right. Why am I keeping this animal?
Right.
Exactly.
Do I have enough land for that? And while I'm talking about land, there's no magical number that says you need to have X amount of acres to be able to survive. It's going to be on what you're doing on your particular homestead.
Right.
Like us, I got 21 acres. I can survive for as long as the good Lord will let me survive on what we've got here.
Right.
If we lose power, we lose everything. I don't need a horse. I don't and I don't need to have 40,
well, like
50,
for us,
50,
we don't
50
need
acres
right.
because we use the back to Eden style garden, so I don't have to till my garden.
Right.
And if I do need to bust up some land, I've got pigs.
We turn our pigs loose, right?
So you have to ask, you have to have that heart conversation with yourself. What are the goals for my homestead?
Right. Well, that's
what am I looking to accomplish here? Do I want to completely raise all of my food?
Right.
Do I have the means and the drive to be able to reach that goal? I 100% believe that somebody who's got small acreage, I think Brad's on like an acre.
Right. Acre.
I honestly believe, done correctly, Brad can raise all of his food that him and his family of, like, what are they, like 9?
7, I think.
7. How many people you got in your family again, Brad? 7?
I think so. Somewhere like that.
He could do that.
1.1 acres.
Yeah. He can do it on his.
Right.
Now, he would have to implement different things than we would. Like, he would probably have to implement square foot gardening, companion gardening, to be able to pull more yield out of his garden, so that way he can open up more space to have to grass. You can start rotating pastures to do that. And these are questions that you have to ask yourself before you go out, and don't do like we did. Mm-hmm. Don't go out and just, oh, I want a cow, I want pigs,
right,
I want this. You know, you have to ask yourself these questions. If your purpose for wanting a cow is you eventually want to make butter, cheese, yogurt, all that kind of stuff, then you've got to pick a cow that is a little bit higher in dairy fat versus just milk production.
Right. So what we ended up doing, and we learned, was that the best breed for us to be able to get a good amount of milk, but also to get a decent butter fat count, was to get a Jersey Holstein cross.
And now, whoever they are, and Danny and Wanda are still here, right?
Yes.
Danny could probably back me up on this. They say that the best homestead style cow that gives you the best milk production and the butterfat contact is a Jersey Swiss. Jersey Swiss.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Versus the Jersey Holstein.
The only reason why we did Jersey Holstein is because Holstein produces more milk than the Swiss cow. So that's my thing. I think if you did a Swiss cow, then yes, I think your butter fat would be a little bit higher. But the reason why you do a Jersey Holstein is because Holsteins will give you a lot of milk, but not very high butter content. Jerseys will give you almost no milk, but it's almost all fat. So you put them together and you make a pretty good deal. And let me just help everybody out here. Don't do what we did. We had this great idea. We had a Holstein, because we're real people and we make real mistakes. We had a Holstein cow. And we're like, okay, we got to get her bred so that we can have another calf and we can keep her in milk. We're going to get a bull. The best cross is going to be a Jersey Holstein. So let's get a Jersey bull. There's only one problem with that. If you know anything about Jersey cows.
Let's kind of do a little bit of a comparison here. Holstein, Jersey.
So basically, it didn't really work.
Didn't really work.
Now, if you had it the other way around, if you had a Jersey, maybe I don't know. I still don't think that would work. But anyway, all that to say, we're running out of time. This has gone so fast. It's 8:54.
Wow.
And we are 2 people away from 50. We've gotten all the way up to 47.
All right, somebody go tell 3 friends to get on real quick, please. Someday you gotta come on before
we wanted to do hashtag 50.
Hashtag 50.
Didn't quite get there. We're close.
Somebody call your mama. Tell your mama to get on.
Yes, Brad. It was like like Shaq and a vertically challenged person. Yes, absolutely.
It was like Shaq and Spud Webb.
It literally, like, he would try and sneak up on her while she was laying down. Like, it was really sad.
Yeah. Okay, so since we're running, I can't believe we're almost running out of time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, anyway.
So basically, the whole thing about all of your livestock, when you're thinking about picking your livestock and doing it, you have to ask yourself some questions.
Right.
What are your expectations?
Right.
What do you want from that particular animal?
Right.
2, am I...
Got a 50. Yay! Thank you, guys.
Am I capable of housing, feeding this particular animal?
Hey, off-grid kid. We're glad you came in for just a little bit there.
And then I just lost it.
I'm sorry. I was so excited. Ethan's here. So anyway, go ahead.
So you have to ask yourself what you want that animal to do.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for? Do you have the ability and the space to raise it?
Right.
And
do you have the means?
The means. And what is your long-term goal for your farm homestead, and where does that animal fit in?
Fit into
like
that.
If you're still in the prepper mindset, okay, and you're talking about pigs, then you have to start listing. Basically, what we started doing,
listing pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Mm-hmm. Any animal that comes on our homestead has more than one purpose.
Right.
If it's a chicken, it's giving us eggs, meat, and it's also fertilizing and pest control. If it's a pig, it's meat, dam repair for the pond,
right,
and land clearing. If it's cows, it's fertilizer, lawnmower, milk, and beef. So we are about out.
We're getting ready to have to hand it over to
we are
Daniel
taking
and Krista.
We're it's getting close to football time,
yeah,
so
almost.
we gotta start saying, even though I don't watch it because I just know it's getting close to football time, because I got a lot of friends that are like 4 weeks till Georgia football.
Yep, that's it.
It's time for us to take the pig skin and we're gonna throw it over there to Alabama, and send it over there to Go for Green Living.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get all 50 of these people to go over to his channel and watch him bump his gums for an hour. We appreciate all y'all coming.
Manchester United. Brad, you're a trip.
We love y'all. If you like our shirts, please go to our website, www.bigbearhomestead.com.
Go to the shop.
Go to the shop. They're in there. They're only $10.
We're going to do different ones, different animals, but the theme's kind of going to be the same. A happy animal is a tasty animal. So
there's going to be some funny ones in there too. We got some good ones coming up. And Big Bear Homestead is now on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I think that's enough.
I think that's enough. Yeah, we're good for now.
So thank y'all for coming by. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And as always, have a nice day.
Have a nice day, guys. See ya.